What is up, everyone? Welcome to Reality Room Podcast with Paul,
Chris.
And Dave.
bringing you the latest on The Amazing Race, Episode 4. All right, guys, so first off, I just want to say that if you support our channel, please check out our link to our Patreon down below. Okay, guys, so we just got down to a 2-hour special of The Amazing Race. Two teams left, which is way better than the last week where no teams left, which I'm still a little mad about. But what did you guys think about this whole 2-hour special? Did you like it?
I would have hoped two teams would have gotten out today, just because no one left last week. So it would have been another slap in the face. Like, I felt like after like the second half of it, it felt like they were like, it seemed like they're gonna be like, well, but you're actually safe or whatever. But I'm glad that they got two people got eliminated rather than just one, because it would have been annoying.
Yeah, no, I mean, this was exactly what I expected to happen. I mean, no one left last week. Two people are going home this week. 2 hours. That's how it's going to be. The problem was I was very, very not happy with the outcome of the first episode we saw tonight.
I definitely want to talk about that like really quickly. I agree with you, Dave, that I was kind of disappointed too, just because, Cedric and Sean, like, they had a chance to redeem themselves this episode, and they did terrible. And like, especially when you have like a face.
They basically made last week's episode null and void.
Basically, yeah.
All right, guys. If you guys are watching live, you can talk to us down in the chat. I already see a few people saying a few things. I want to say hi to Trop13. I also can't wait for next week because of the U-turn. And Kashawn Wright says Jess is in trouble next week because of what we saw in the previews, which we'll get to later. But yeah, I'm a little worried for Cody and Jess next episode myself. But I think they'll get through it. But anyway, back to this episode. So they're traveling to Nice, which is southeast France. And I'll probably give a history lesson later. A little history lesson. But what do you guys think about them basically just traveling to southeast France for this entire 2-hour run? It was Nice and then Provence, which are both relatively close to one another in southeastern France and Europe. Any thoughts?
I would say it probably saved the production money because they didn't have to fly everybody out this time around. That's one way to look at it.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Honestly, I didn't really care that much where they went. That's how I felt about it.
All right. Fair enough to me.
I mean, whatever. Just a general question for you guys. Do you guys ever really care like where they end up? Like, because I just care about like what actually happens there. Like the location doesn't matter to me.
I like being able to plug in my history lessons. So I enjoy that.
Fair enough.
Chris, thoughts?
I did like the medieval times, like where they went to the second part, just because I like medieval stuff. So it depends on where they are. Like, I like certain themes to like certain challenges that they have to do. But overall, I don't really care. I care more about like them screwing each other over, because that's what we like to see.
Right. Drama. That's the way the game is played.
Drama.
So, brief history lesson on Nice. It was part of the Duchy of Savoy until the mid-1800s, which was an independent state from France for maybe probably close to 500 years. And then it was annexed by France in 1860, which is interesting because the head of the House of Savoy actually ended up forming the Kingdom of Italy the same year that they gave the gave the Duchy of Savoy to France. So just an interesting history lesson. So
all that stuff happened, and now we're in 2017, and now it's a spot for the Amazing Race. So
exactly. All right, so they're going to Saint Tropez. Henry and Evan got first last time, so they're starting off first today. Alex and Connor made some funny joke about speed limits, which was like, okay, it doesn't matter if you can drive fast because there's laws. Yeah, we know. Good for you.
Yeah, it sucks in every country.
It sucks. That's why you got to go to the Autobahn in Germany. Anyway, so let's talk about this roadblock, which seemed to give a lot of teams trouble. In fact, I think it gave every team except for Lucas trouble, basically. They had to go on
Lucas
this.
And Brittany.
Lucas and Brittany, yeah. They had to go on a small boat called the Optimus, I believe it was called. Let me know down in the chat. Patty saying hi. Hey, Patty, how you doing? And they had to traverse to these buoys and get 2 halves of a clue and then sail back. What did you guys think about this this whole challenge.
It seemed very annoying. Like I can imagine like any one of us is doing this shit, and it's all about the win too. It's like it's basically kind of like a luck competition where it's like you're on the boat, but if you don't get enough wind to like sail it, you're gonna end up tipping the boat over, which happened a few times with
Cedric. And Cedric, and then Cedric again.
Yeah.
So and Evan was having a little bit of trouble too. I mean, see, the whole time I wasn't watching this, I'm just wondering. I'm like, I love Cedric and Sean, but why isn't Sean doing this one? Or
That's what I said.
Any
too.
of them?
I said the same thing. I don't get that either.
I think Cedric just has like a lot of heart. But let's first talk about they had to do the speed bump. And I also want to mention, even before the speed bump, I want to talk about the firefighters, Eric and Daniel. They had like 5 scenes of them, like very short scenes. They didn't know how to go reverse in their car. So they both had to get out of the car and push the car from the front backwards. And they showed like 4 or 5 scenes of this. I'm just like, what is going on? They look ridiculous.
He's on the wall like this with his legs out trying to push the car backwards.
Ridiculous. Chris, thoughts?
At least they got some airtime.
Yeah, most airtime.
I'd also like to note that, like in like their video, like again, like the firefighter paramedics who consistently disappoint me every week, they it shows them in an ambulance. So like, I'm scared for their town. As messed up as that is to say.
Patty says that Team Extreme said they prepared for Amazing Race by assembling IKEA furniture. I guess they were part of the movement.
That did actually help.
Probably did. All right, so let's talk about the speed
bump. It helped with catapults.
Let's talk about the speed bump with Cedric and Sean. So this was actually a very good speed bump for them because they just had to stack 15 boats, and they're both strong guys. Like, what do you guys think that those two are the ones that had to do this? Do you think it was just a perfect fit?
I think it was perfect fit, and I feel like it was appropriate. Like, it wasn't too difficult of a speed bump. It just killed some time, but I don't like in real time. I think they got this done in under a half hour.
Yeah, I agree with Dave on that. Maybe. I definitely think they finished it pretty early, and I mean, I just didn't even like it. I thought it wasn't even that big of a challenge, to be honest. Like it. I mean, they were gonna. I feel it's kind of like an enigma. Like they were gonna get last anyway. So I mean, I don't really care about it.
The only reason they really got last, in my opinion, was because they got lost on their way to the first challenge. That's just what I think. Let me know what you guys think down below about that. And also,
yeah, which is like the reverse of last week when they got lost on their way from the last place. What was it? The last challenge last week?
Yeah.
They went from first to last last week. Pretty crazy. All right, so the boat, some interesting things happened. Everyone had a little fun with it. Alex ended up getting half of the clue coming back. Connor looking at him being like, dude, I hate to tell you this. You have to go back. Alex was like, oh, okay. I got half the clue. All right, sure. I thought that was just funny. What do you guys think?
It was funny. It was so sad though too.
I think I wanted to cry for him because he was struggling so much.
I was paying a little bit more attention to Henry and Evan, mostly Evan losing her fucking tooth, which, oh my God, yeah. Like, and she went back on the boat and still finished it. I was like,
well, girl, no, like she jumped out of the boat to try to find the missing piece of her tooth, which I guess, as crazy as it sounds, like if you're in that situation, I guess that's a normal reaction to be like, I want my tooth back. But yeah, I don't know about that. It's just, I mean, when you have $1 million on the line, I think you just stay on the boat and just be like, yo, if I get $1 million, I can fix this tooth up and so much and everything else.
Luckily, they did get the tooth fixed between this first half of the episode and the second half of the episode. So, I guess the Amazing Race has some insurance policies for for dentists or whatever. Patty just said in the chat she learned to drive on a stick, and her dad said that you shouldn't be driving at all if you can't drive a stick. Maybe. What do you think about that, Chris, Mr. Uber driver?
I mean, that sounds crazy.
You gotta learn to drive. You gotta learn to drive stick, Chris. That's it.
Yeah.
All right. So, And Evan was also having a lot of trouble with the steering. I would say the people that had the most trouble were probably Alex, Evan, and Cedric, the three people that really stuck out on having a lot of trouble with it. But the two teams that ended up finishing last were Cedric and Sean. And do you guys remember the other one?
Yeah, it was
the Firefighters, right? Because they just got there late.
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah, but they didn't really have too much trouble with the boat. They just got there really, really late, which is story of the Firefighters. Am I right, guys?
Again, disappointment with them.
All right, so Christy and Jen actually finished that challenge first, and then we got they had to decide between making 15 baguettes out of 30 pounds of dough, or making like some sort of sandal. Making like
a nailed sandal. I don't know what the hell that was.
No, just one thing is like every week we always talk about which detour is more fair. I think for the first time we have detours that were pretty equal.
Dave, everything you're saying I'm agreeing with. This is kind of boring. Like I definitely agree with you.
Yeah.
One sounds way.
I'm sure like when we get to the second episode we'll be fighting more.
I actually disagree. I think the sandal making was the easier of the two. I think Christy and Jen just took a longer time at it than the other teams did.
I mean,
maybe. I don't
personally,
know.
I'd rather need the dough.
Yeah, I was gonna say the dough might be a little bit easier because making dough is like it doesn't take that long to do, and it's pretty self-explanatory. All you have to do is just copy like what the guy was doing. All they had to do was just copy how the way the guy was making the dough. So it was pretty easy rather than just like nailing it. I don't know what the hell they were doing. They were nailing the sandal. Like, can someone explain that?
They're both tedious, but in different ways. One's more of a meticulous thing. One's more of a like a time length kind of thing. Yeah. But I think if you have like your hands together like really well, you can probably get through the sandal one quicker than through the baguettes. But that's just my opinion. Again,
I think the sandal one was like a little trickier because I think the sandal was a little trickier just because like there's more of like a puzzle element to it per se, whereas the dough is just do it and finish.
Trump 13 says the Firefighters are not bad at challenges; they are just directionally challenged. This has been the story of the Firefighters for the past 4 episodes, and it's a bit ridiculous.
But hold up, weren't they the ones who like in the second episode they went from one challenge, one detour to the other detour?
Absolutely. Oh,
episode two. That was episode 2.
Maybe
that was them, right?
Yep, that was them. You gotta remember the Firefighters. Their little airtime. That's what they do. They mess up. That's what
I was rooting for these guys, and then like from like the beginning, I'm like, they're gonna do pretty good, and then again, they consistently disappoint me. That's good.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Kashan says, "What is a baguette? Is it bread?"
It's not a good thing.
Yes. All right, let's go.
Something with bread.
Yep. All right, so
Face-off challenge.
Yeah, I guess we'll jump into the face-off challenge. We're gonna do a slightly condensed version of the episode this time, only because of the only
second
it's
episode.
2 hours. Yeah, only because of the 2 hours. So they get to play Patang, which I'm Italian, so I call it its proper name, bocce. I don't know if you guys do you guys know what this is? Have you played this before?
I've seen it before. I've seen it in like shows and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's both fantastic games. But anyway, you throw the ball, the smaller ball, and then the goal is to throw the bigger balls, and whoever gets closer to it basically wins. I'm Italian, so I played this at my cousin's house and my grandparents' house a few times. Very, very fun game.
It's a sport in his family.
Sure. Yeah, I come from a long line of bocce players. In France, we call it patong. Anyway.
All right.
Anyway, so let's talk about some of these matchups. They were rather interesting, and what's good about this one, as opposed to the other head-to-head, was that you don't really get exhausted. In this head-to-head, it's more of like a morale type thing when you lose. So when you lose, you lose morale.
There was a bit of a mental exhaustion, as we saw, and mental fallout of a specific team just slowly declining.
I feel like it wasn't really that epic though. I felt like it was just kind of okay, great. Like they weren't really fighting with each other. They would have been like, oh my god, like she cheated, or like nothing happened. Like it was just like, okay, I lost. Next, like it was kind of boring a little bit. I felt like
I don't know. I found this entertaining, maybe because like I think it looks like it's fun because I've never played this before.
it does
because
look
I'm not
fun.
from Paul's
Yeah,
family.
it does look fun. But what I'm saying is that it just didn't seem like they were really competitive about it. Like it's rather than like the French fry challenge. Like I felt like that was just like more epic.
Yeah, but you
than
had a personal connection to that challenge, Chris.
I'm just saying, I was a little, I wasn't too thrilled with this competition. It did look fun, but I wasn't too thrilled about the competition. But I was happy about the results. I actually was very happy about the results. So
I was happy and not happy because by the end, I wasn't happy with who went home.
All right, let's
it was expected.
Let's talk about the results of this. So the first competition,
Yes,
Christy and Jen got there first. They got to verse Alex and Connor. And Alex and Connor, they took it home. They did it.
they won
And
$5,000. They won
$5,000 each. I want to remind everyone that that in episode 2, Cody and Jessica, when they won their head-to-head, when they won the head-to-head, they only won $2,500 each. So the money's getting up there, boys.
That's right.
Yep, closer to $1 million.
You'll be $1 million soon, I swear. So then Christy and Jen got to verse Jess and Cody, and Jess and Cody won. All right, so good for them.
No surprise there. They always get like top 5, at least top 5. That's Cody and Jessica, always getting top 5.
What was crazy to me,
except for the second part of this episode, but okay, Chris.
Yeah, no, she did really well with it, but like I'm gonna be honest, like the throw, she got really lucky with that. Let's be honest.
Oh my bad, 6. They got 6. I'm sorry, 6. You know what I'm talking. You know what I'm saying. They get pretty close.
Yeah. Okay. Second part of the episode, they got 6. Okay.
They were always in the top 6.
Alert. I don't know.
They're always in the top 6. They do so well.
They don't get eliminated. They never get They haven't been eliminated. That's good enough.
He says it's kind of like that game on ice curling. Yeah, it is a little bit like ice curling. I definitely agree with you there.
Ice curling? What is this? I need the history lessons real quick.
It's in the Olympics. Let's not jump too far off of this. But it's a fun game. Okay. I like watching it every 4 years.
All right, Winter Olympics. I'll find out in 2 years. Cool.
I think the Winter Olympics is this year.
What the fuck? Okay, can we just keep
Whatever. I'm more worried about Celebrity Big Brother. I'm done. I'm done now.
Okay,
I'm dropping my phone now. This is horrible.
Okay, so Christy and Jen then versed Trevor and Chris, and Christy and Jen won, so they got third place. So good for them. Trevor and Chris ended up versing Joey and Tim. Joey and Tim won and got fourth. Trevor and Chris then versed Lucas and Brittany, and Trevor and Chris finally won after the decrease in morale there. And then we had Lucas and Brittany basically have a lot of battles on their hands. So they versed Henry and Evan. Henry and Evan won. They also versed Eric and Daniel. Eric and Daniel won. Cedric and Sean. And Cedric and Sean lost, and they were the third team eliminated. So I don't know. I know you're all disappointed in this. We liked them as a team.
It's not surprising though. I mean, they lost last week. I mean, it is what it is. I hate to say it this way, but I kind of feel like they were put out of their misery.
That's how I feel about it. They got more airtime. That's all. That's the most important thing, is that Cedric and Sean were able to get on another episode of Amazing Grace. Because, I mean, I agree with you, Dave. I think that last episode was basically, it was so well thought out and no one got eliminated. And this one, like, it wasn't as well thought out as, like, the third episode, which kind of, and then someone getting eliminated, it kind of is like a little slap in the face. But I really did want, I'm sorry, I'm like mixing up the names here. Lucas and Brittany. I did want
You're
Lucas
getting
and Brittany.
very emotional.
I wanted Lucas and Brittany to stay though over Cedric and Sean, because let's not forget Lucas has to propose to Brittany. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, I was wondering that. I'm like, if they go home right now, like you're gonna propose to her, like how is this gonna work? Like you're gonna, like when I'm gonna read about it, if they went home right then and there, I'm like, I would have looked up online. I would have found out that they broke up. That's what I feel like I would have saw.
Here's my thought process on the Lucas and Brittany situation. They were not going home before the proposal happened because they aired it on one of the episodes that he was going to do it. So inevitably, you have to know as a fan, well, not as a fan, just like logic.
Someone who watched the previews.
Not previews, just anything.
This season on, like like they play like a whole montage of what's going to happen.
What Paul is trying to say is that they wouldn't have. What Paul is trying to say is that they. God damn, this is camera. What Paul is trying to say is that they wouldn't have. He wouldn't have said that and then have him not propose because that would be anticlimactic and that would be a waste of just having that in there.
Right. They wouldn't have. They would have took it out of the edit. If he didn't,
it was just wishful thinking. I wanted Cedric and Sean to win. It didn't happen. It was wishful thinking on my part. So that's
honestly, I thought it was kind of a waste of just having them even there in the first place. Because if they were going to lose, like, then this whole thing was they plan out everything. It's just a lot of effort to like plan all this stuff out.
Yeah, they didn't plan for Cedric. The production didn't plan for like Cedric and Sean to lose a second time though.
Well, I know they don't plan it, but I'm just saying it was kind of a waste because they lost anyways. It's like someone coming back from the game and just getting out immediately again. It's funny, but it's also kind of fucked up.
But hold on, guys. We have two people in the chat basically complaining about the head-to-head system. And I think we all agree that the head-to-head system has a lot of issues.
I like it.
I liked it more this time. I liked it more this time than the last one.
Because last place got last place.
Well, no, because it was more because the other one was more. The other one was more physical than the other one, so I mean, it's not really fair. It was not fair, and I'm also biased because I like Henry and Evan, but
that's what I'm saying. Like this is why you're not going to hear this entire episode of this podcast of Chris going, "Oh my god, I almost had a heart attack," because Henry and Evan did good the whole episode, like the whole 2-part episode.
Dave's actually right about that.
All right,
I know I am.
Let's jump into the second part of this episode. Cedric and Sean, we will miss you. Hope you're watching the podcast. And if you're not, well, maybe you'll watch this down the road.
You can find it anyway. Yeah, I love you. Love you.
All right, so let's jump into the second part of the challenge. So they had to take a drive to Provence, also in Southeast France. I don't have a history lesson here. Provence was independent for a little while, and then France annexed them way earlier than Savoy, which Nice was in. So yeah,
hold on, I got to explain why I'm laughing real quick. Don't you think this is ridiculous that they have the teams all drive to then wait like 4 hours in the cold for their challenge to open up? What was the point of that?
See, I thought when they showed that they were going to show some sort of like argument there, because like it seemed like they were setting them when they usually have downtime. It's usually like set up for like an argument or just some sort of conflict, and it was kind of anticlimactic when they just showed.
I was waiting for them to just trespass and jump over, you know.
Yeah.
I knew that wasn't like going to happen with production. Like production would be against that, but I'm like, so they just like went over there and just like slept in the cold for like 4 hours till the challenge started. Like, this is ridiculous.
Rishant Ragab is yelling at me to to focus on talking, not chatting, because I've been talking in the chat a little bit. Sorry, guys. All right. Anyway, so let's. All right. So yeah, I mean, it was really funny that they had to stand there, and what's weird is Alex and Connor get there first, to the place, and they're like lying down, and I guess they probably napped or tried to. I don't know what the weather was like that day. Probably decent weather. It is.
I think they're shot. It was like 4 a.m. or something like that. So I think they just went to sleep no matter what.
Yeah.
They had to wait till 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, but they probably got there like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, they got there close. They got there around that time.
I just like the fact that you just see Chrissy and Jen like walk up to like Alex and Connor and be like, "Hey guys, how's it going? Oh, we're just sleeping." Like,
I love how friendly Christy and Jen are with everybody.
I want to say something about Chrissy and Jen. I know we don't have too much time, but I want to say Chrissy and Jen have weirdly been doing very good at like they seem like they're going to be like really top competitors, possibly winners of the season, and I just think that how do you guys feel about Chrissy and Jen? I feel like they're just really good at this point.
I definitely think they have good chances.
I'm just saying, I want to. say Christine. I don't know. I definitely felt like I got to understand more of the teams, like in this 2-hour episode. Like, and I'm starting to like rethink about who I'm rooting for now. And I kind of like Chrissy and Jen a little bit, but I also like. Oh my god, I'm fucking up these names today. Lucas and Brittany. I also like them now too. So like.
I don't like Lucas and Brittany.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that I don't like them. It's just that
I'm happy for them. I'm not like.
Yeah, I'm not
you know,
gung ho.
Okay, but I'm.
They had a good run,
Like,
today, we'll say that.
but now that Cedric and Sean are gone, I feel like Christy and Jen took their place, in my opinion, for like who
That's
I'm
how I
rooting
feel
for.
about-
But I'm still Jess and Cody all the way through.
Oh my god.
That's not changing.
All right, so for this first challenge, which they had to wait many hours for, and they lost their advantage, their time advantage, complete waste of time. They had to build a trebuchet. Like, wow, going to ancient times here. So, trebuchet's ancient war weapon. You whatever, you shoot something. It's like it's a siege weapon basically.
Most of us Americans would just say, "Ooh, that's a catapult."
Yeah, most
That's
of
what I
that,
thought.
yeah, like
Catapult.
Jessica.
Yep.
Trebuchets are way better than catapults, Dave. Noob. Anyway.
Well, whatever. Same thing. It launches stuff up.
Kashan says that Brittany cries every beeping minute. She is literally a crybaby.
I like crybabies.
Well, that's what Phil said at the
I
end.
don't mind the crybabies.
Okay, Chris, that is so bizarre. But anyway, so that even Phil addressed the fact that Brittany's always crying whenever he sees her. So
crybabies, reach out to Chris. All right. Okay, so
that is so weird. I feel like we need a T-shirt of this. I don't know why. Like, maybe we'll make it a Patreon T-shirt.
Hashtag pro crybabies.
all right, so
That's never gonna happen.
Let's go back. Okay.
back to the challenge.
Yeah.
Lucas is killing this challenge. That's it. He's killing it. And
Yeah.
Cody.
So
Cody
basically,
is killing it.
from practically last place. Yeah, no, but from practically last place to first place, like this whole thing was like
familiar?
this
Does
whole.
that sound familiar to you though? Someone going from last place to first place.
Yeah, and someone
every
going from
competitor
first
on the
place to
show,
last
except
place.
for the firefighters who were just like consistently at the bottom.
Right.
That's how I describe it. But like, let's just be honest. Like this whole like 2-hour thing is the story arc of Lucas and Brittany. Like that's what was annoying me. Like they've had their time in the spotlight. I'm just saying.
Okay, I disagree with you, but let's keep going on with the recap. I'll talk. If we have more time, I'll argue about that later.
Rashawn
Let's keep going.
Rashawn says that Brittany brings so much drama. What do you guys think?
But isn't that what we want? Isn't that what we want on a reality show? Drama.
That's what he's saying. He likes it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Thank you, whoever said that.
He says all the other teams are so bland with their happy-go-lucky storyline. Yeah, I mean
that's boring. That's boring.
Kinda
I
right.
see where he's coming from.
Kind of
I
right
don't
there.
disagree.
There was this brief moment of interest for me. This was in the first half, but also I was going to bring it up at the end of this episode as like something that's
And that was a good time to bring it up.
But Tim, during the first part of the first challenge in the first half of the episode, was like wishing that Evan would keep messing up the boat because they kind of saw them as competition. But ironically, they're the ones that get eliminated today. So I thought that was pretty amusing.
I guess
they're not wrong. They're not wrong.
Like
Yeah,
like what your parents teach you about how like you don't wish bad things on others and like how it goes bad. Yeah,
it's called karma, but I mean, it didn't do Jess and Cody. So.
But we don't know yet. It might screw them over, apparently.
Well, yeah, but that's more of a direct impact rather than an indirect.
They'll power through it like they did Big Brother.
Next.
Really, but,
well, they lost that. Anyway.
Okay.
Pretty badly, actually.
Go ahead, Chris.
Anyway.
No, I want to keep going with the recap because we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, you're certainly right. We do. All right,
okay.
So Lucas and Brittany finished, then Cody and Jess finish, Christy and Jen finish. They make it to some sort of cafe. They got a clue from some guy drinking wine. Did they really have to include wine? I mean, I know it's France, but come on, you guys, whatever.
Again, this show is made by Americans.
Yeah, all right. So they had to do a detour. One's with the bull, We had to go around like this entire Coliseum, it looked like, and collect some like bands, and you had to collect one
red, white,
one
and blue bands from the Bulls.
God bless America. And the other was Vincent
in France.
Well, you know, they're one of our closest allies. Vincent Van Gogh. Actually, red, white.
Oh my
Those
God.
are the French colors too. Well, it all works out.
This is going to lead to a lot of Google after the show.
Not really. Those are the colors of France. Anyway, it is. Don't wow me. All right,
I believe you. I 100% believe you.
Let's talk about the challenge.
The Vincent Van Gogh with the painting.
The challenge.
You had to move the certain pieces around, then you had to pull the top out to open it for the clue, which is exciting.
It looked so easy though. I was like, why are they having such a hard time with this shit?
Well, Phil even said he's like, it looks easy when you know it, because Phil did it in like 2 seconds.
But just the way it only looked like there was like a certain amount of things. It looked like there was only like 7 different options to do on the painting. It was just move a couple of pieces and then pull the thing out.
But however, the whole thing is that they realized whenever they did it is that they had to do each piece in a specific order and then pull it out. And if they did it in the wrong order, the other pieces would jam.
Oh, is that what it is? I don't know. I still think
that's what they said when they were doing it.
I know. I felt like it looked a little easier to do than running around the entire Coliseum, even though I like the Coliseum one a lot better.
I have to be honest, I want to do the Coliseum challenge. That looks fun.
So
I know.
So Joey and Tim and Alex and Connor were the last 2 to finish the trebuchet. However, the team that really got affected by this was Joey and Tim. I think did Alex and Connor finish last? Because that would mean they went from first to last, and Lucas went from last to first. I just want to bring that up.
I believe so.
Which is
hilarious. That is the correct way. They didn't Team Chomp, the eating guys. They finished second to last with the
Team Chomp.
The catapult. Yeah.
Chomp.
And they decide to do the painting one. So I'll just say right here, the rest of the teams, they all do the bull, and they don't really have any issues with it other than Trevor and Chris. So we're only going to talk about Trevor and Chris and Joey and Tim at this point, because those are the only 2 that we should bother focusing on. We'll get to the engagement later. So let's talk about Joey and Tim. Like Chris was saying, you don't really know what went wrong there. What went wrong is that they didn't know how to pull the top thing out. They were doing it right. They just didn't know to pull the top out. They were confused at it like 10 times. And no other teams were there. So they were actually taken aback by that, because they had no like visual confirmation that they were doing anything correct. Thoughts?
I just think that they were kind of analyzing the painting for a really long time, and you figure, all right, I have this painting. Let's see what's working. Let's see what's not working. And you don't think to like move the top even just a little bit and see if it like pulls out or not.
I don't know. I think what also really hurt them was,
Go ahead, Dave.
But I think what really hurt them though too was the fact that like how long it took them to go find this painting and find the challenge. If I'm correct, at one point they actually passed the Coliseum where the bull challenge was, because they wanted to go do the painting one.
It's because Joey he's not a runner.
Yeah, he's
like we know that I don't think he would be able to do it.
I think if they made that other choice, I think they would have did better. I don't think they would have came in last if they went that route.
I don't know about that. I still think the outcome would have been the same.
No, I think Dave's right, but I think Joey and Tim made the best decision at the time.
You just said that Joey and Tim are not. You said Joey can't run or Tim can't run that well.
They can't, but
that doesn't mean because they can't run well doesn't mean that they can't run.
Right. I mean,
they could still walk around and find it.
They would have made up. Like they lost a lot of time on the painting, so they didn't know that at the time. Like they were right
and they lost a lot of time trying to find the painting. A lot of time trying to find the painting.
Yeah, exactly. Going somewhere, Chris? Anyway.
No, I was at the door.
Okay. Trevor and Chris, they just got lost. They were driving around and they just totally got lost.
I guess
that's it. That they got to the bull thing very late. It wasn't really. It didn't look like it was close. Anyway, let's get to the engagement. Lucas and Brittany make it there first, followed by many other teams. And Lucas proposes. Thoughts?
I actually liked it a lot. I was actually waiting for this. So I was like, oh my god, commercial break, and then like it was also kind of funny like that. They did the proposal, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to not go with these names.
Christy and Jen.
Chrissy and Jen were like the second ones there, and they got to like witness it. And then you see like another team come by, be like, and Phil's just like, "Hey, guess what happened? Like, so Lucas and Brittany like they're engaged now." And then like another team would come, and it's like she's like, "Oh my god, look at the like." It's I don't know. I just thought it was really hysterical.
What I found funny with it was like how Lucas is like looking over his shoulder, like literally you could see on his face that he's praying that no teams show up because he just wants to have like this like moment here with Phil and the random old guy. But
yeah.
So basically that's what was funny to me. And then like how you see like the two firefighters that came in and didn't actually impress me by not coming in the bottom three for once. They come over and like it's funny because they look like they want to step on the map, but they don't want to intrude on the moment.
Yeah. But I was kind of feeling a little uncomfortable, like when because the thing with Brittany and Jessica, I was like, okay, so everyone's like really happy, they're really excited, and then you see Jessica and Cody come, and they just get their congrats, you're 6th place, you're not last, Cody. Cool.
Well, they got there after them.
Well, I know that, but like they must have,
like the engagement happened and every other team kept on coming like right one after another. Which
means that they probably took a little bit longer than the other I guess 5 teams technically speaking.
I can tell you it would be a begrudging congratulations if they got there around the same time as them.
I don't get what the deal. Is it just me, or is Jessica and Cody like not friendly with these teams, or not as friendly with the teams than everyone else? Is it just me, or
they seem to just? I don't think that they're anti-friendly. They seem to like Yale, and that's about it. They seem to like the ones that they think they're competition.
Yale. I don't even think they like Yale that much either, though. I kind of just feel like they're there just for the competition. I get it.
They posted some pics with IndyCar on. They posted some pics with IndyCar on Twitter long after the show started, so they seem to get along with that at least. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. I just know they don't get along with Lucas and Brittany, and maybe they'll get a U-turn next episode. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's also possible they don't get along with anybody, which would shed some light onto the Big Brother house, I guess.
All right. Anyway,
I had to.
Yeah, I guess that's basically it. So last place were Joey and Tim because of that whole painting debacle.
I didn't really know who Joey and Tim were until this episode, kind of. Like, I didn't really know them too well from the other episodes, so when they got eliminated, I felt bad, but I was just kind of like, all right. I mean, we have 7 teams now. Like, I'm actually kind of happy with the 7 teams. I feel like once we get down to it, it's going to get more harder, and it's going to get even more sadder that some people are leaving than others, so...
But that's every show.
No, but I'm saying now, since we got 2 hours of like basically getting to know a little bit of everyone, like we kind of have a better perception of it. I feel like we actually know everyone this time because we have enough like episodes, and they got enough.
Fair enough. Like
except for the firefighters, I don't know where the fuck they're going.
Because I feel like they're going to be eliminated like any week now.
That's how I feel too. They're, like,
well, we learned that one of them just recently had a newborn. That was nice.
Yeah, we learned that a little bit. Got some context on one of them.
Yeah, one of them. Don't know which one because they both look the same.
Exactly.
What happens when you're twins?
Like, I'm gonna be like just one thing. Like when we were at the premiere, like the recording of the first episode, and we saw like the firefighters there. Like Phil just goes like twins and firefighters, and I remember like looking at like I think it was Paul or Chris or maybe both of you, and I was like, what's so special? Like they're twins.
Yeah.
Like, everybody else has like some sort of like thing on them. Then I found it on TV. Like that's when they were paramedic firefighters, and I don't know. again, I want to say like there's an ongoing trend of disappointment with this team for me.
They're
know why.
interesting. They're interesting because they're twins, but the problem is they're not interesting with their personality and their characteristics. I feel like we don't really get too much about it.
Yeah, we'll just end it. We'll continue this next week because I'll say it every single week, I guess.
I do have an announcement at the end when you're done.
Right.
Oh boy.
So I want to thank you guys for watching. It was a good episode. We'll be covering it again next week. We'll talk about our Patreon for a little bit here. Do you guys want to break it down?
Let's do the 1, 3, and 5. Let's do $1, $3, $5.
We'll just do the 3 and 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go, Chris.
Me? I'm going. Okay. Yeah. So,
why not?
Thank you guys for watching and subscribing to us and being really supportive with our podcast and everything like that. Your comments are awesome. We are, like Paul said, we are doing a Patreon page, and we'd really appreciate it if you guys supported us. And we're going to talk about some of the benefits a little bit briefly down in the description too. Like you can look at everything down in the subscription. So if you guys want to donate $5, you guys get to get a producer credit at the end of every single episode, as well as joining our patron only video chat where you guys can ask us questions and maybe even get some bonus stuff going around too. There's a couple of events, and we have our Celebrity Big Brother live feeds. We get a lot of views on that, so definitely take that into consideration. And yeah, Dave, what's the $3 benefit?
$3 benefit. So yeah, you get the shout out at the end of the videos. That's really it. I mean, I mean, you kind of like basically said like everything, Chris. I mean,
yeah, I know.
Yeah, I mean, because the $5 tier includes all the $3 tier stuff. So
right, and we really appreciate it. If you guys don't do it, we don't. I mean, it just helps us. Like, it just motivates us to make more content, especially since there's so many shows that are coming out like really soon.
And also YouTube is boning us, forcing us to have 1,000 subscribers before we can become partner again, which we're already partners.
Which is bullshit.
Yeah, whatever. So that was like a main motivation for the Patreon. So
if you're not subscribed yet, also please subscribe, because if we can hit that 1,000 mark
by February 20th.
I don't think we can do that, but we would be very thankful. And yeah, $3 is a shout out at the end of each video. I will personally shout out each of your names or whatever you want me to say as your name. You want to be your username?
If you really want, if you subscribe to the Patreon, we'll tell you right now, you can choose which one of us will shout out your name if you really want that.
I mean, does it really matter?
Pick me.
Yeah, it does.
I do have
maybe they have a favorite.
About Amazing Grace. Are we done with the Patreon talk?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
okay.
The piece of news,
I do have a little news, which I mean, it's just basically a scheduling type of thing, which I was really weirded out about. So we actually only have 4 episodes left. That's crazy. 4 weeks left of Amazing Grace. We have next episode is another 2-hour special. Another 2-hour special, 8 to 10, January. Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. I fucked that up. All right. We had the 2-hour special today, but we do have a couple more 2-hour specials. So next week on January 31st, we have from 8 to 9. And then February 7th, which is also Celebrity Big Brother premiere. We have, again, another 2-hour special from 9 to 11. And then February 14th, another 2-hour special from 9 to 11. And then we have the season finale on February 21st from 9 to 11. So, I mean, we have 3 2-hour specials going on with Amazing Race. Like,
but make sure to be here.
I feel like that's a lot, too. I don't know about you guys. Like, there's 7 teams left. I mean, why are they so long?
Well, the only way to know, Chris, is to tune in.
Oh God, Dave!
that was so stupid.
It was so appropriate. Come on.
That's it.
All right, guys.
But make sure to tune in to us after the shows.
We love you guys so much. Until next time, peace.